Hey there, Skeleton Key here. Having not time traveled just yet, that's going to come up. It is time to talk about book crossing. Okay, so this video started off celebrating my 18th anniversary of book crossing, and that didn't go off as planned, and then I decided to make it about my 19th anniversary of joining book crossing. And then it just sat there on my hard drive. So now, today, July 26th, is my 20th anniversary of joining BookCrossing.com, which I'll talk about more in the past. As this is my 20th anniversary, I had hoped to do something really special today, and this last week has been really bad for me pain wise. So the things that I hope to do, I could not do them. And in fact, I will count myself fortunate if I am able to get this posted actually while it is still Tuesday. Yeah, so if you're looking at the timestamp and Time Travel Tuesday happened on Wednesday, that's just, don't come at me because I'm not here for it. All right. So Tuesday, Wednesday, really, who cares? So as you will be able to see shortly, I started this video off. It was going to be my 18th anniversary of book crossing video. Well, today is now the 19th anniversary of when I joined book crossing. So this is just going to be sort of a year of book crossing. So enjoy. Hi there, this is Skeleton Key, and I am in book crosser mode right now. I'm even wearing my book crossing t-shirt that I got at the convention in Sweden several years ago. And to tell you a little bit about book crossing, I'm going to see if I can find a certain video that a few years ago I did an Ignite presentation on book crossing, and I believe the Ignite folks uploaded it to YouTube. So I'm going to see if I can find that, and if so, I'll link to it, and that will give you a quick but pretty thorough overview of what book crossing is and why it's so much fun. But I'll just say that in a nutshell, if you're familiar with the Where's George website for tracking dollar bills, it's like that, but for books. And it's a huge amount of fun. The first thing I need to do is I need to go through the 18 books that I'm going to release. I'm doing a special release in celebration of the 18 years that I have spent in book crossing. So starting this past July 26th, I am now in my 19th year of book crossing. So I'm going to do a big release of 18 books. And so the first thing I need to do is see which ones have already been registered on book crossing and have book crossing ID numbers, their tracking numbers. So I'm going to do that right now. So here are the stacks. So first, check Lost City of Z by David Grann. And this is an ARC, actually. And I have not finished reading this yet. Somehow I've received a finished copy of it. So I'm giving the ARC away. And this does not appear to have been registered or labeled yet, so I need to do that. And then the Bone Witch, and this is another ARC that I've gotten a final copy of already, and so that one needs to be registered. This a friend of mine gave me, and I read it, and I don't know quite what it is. Let me put it this way. When I wrote my Goodreads review, I actually rolled a four-sided die, to determine what rating to give it. Sorry, I can't show you the whole label because it's got the whole number on it. I'm blocking out the secret part of the number, but this is a BookCrossing label. You can get the customized labels. You can get just plain labels, or you don't have to spend money on labels. You can just write a note inside with the number. Then Carolyn Hart, What the Cat Saw. It has not been registered. Okay, this one has not been registered. I used to read a lot of Carolyn Hart, and I just got to the point that I just can't anymore. That has not been registered, so it goes in that pile. Guardians of Ga'Hoole, The Capture by Catherine Lasky. And I think, yes, I've written a number in there, so that is registered. Could probably do with a little bit more labeling. Hide This French Book 101 from Berlitz. I bought that at the libraries. The library has a little bookstore. Well, they probably still do, and I just probably can't access it now. But they have a little bookstore in the library that's run by the Friends of the Library. And I picked it up because it was shelved in the children's books section. And I was like, something tells me that this is not really appropriately shelved. I picked it up and I'm like, oh, what the heck, I'll buy it. And looks like this one needs to be registered. This one, Murder there's a lot of glare. Murder at the Mail Review by Elizabeth Persona, which is, I think, a father-daughter. Oh, and I have registered this one on BookCrossing. And this was a giveaway. It's a finished copy, but it was a giveaway from a mystery newsletter website. And I kind of hated it, but somebody else might like it. I have no idea where this came from. It just doesn't look like my kind of thing, so I'm going to go ahead and unhaul it. And I have registered that one. Murder in Retirement. This is by John Miles. This is the second book in the Laura Michaels mystery series. Yeah, I kind of hated this one, but it is registered. This is an extra copy. I think my husband was buying a bunch of Marion Zimmer Bradley books at a used bookstore, and somehow this was like next to it on the shelf, and somehow it got into the stack of books he was buying. I have read it. I enjoyed isn't really the right word. I really appreciated this one. It's super, super creepy. I really like Bradbury's writing style. And this is, I think, what is it, the Greentown series, which is, I don't know, it's kind of a stretch to call it a series, but I have listened to it on audiobook before. I'm not much of a rereader, so I don't really need this copy. And this has not been registered. Madam, Will You Talk by Mary Stewart. This is Mary Stewart's first novel. And I've really loved other Mary Stewart books, like the Crystal Cave series. I loved those. I don't know whether it's just that I was young and clueless when I read and loved her other books, but oh my god, this was kind of the internalized misogyny and I was shaking with rage while I was reading this one, and it is not registered. The Bookish Life of Nina Hill by Abby Waxman. Read this for High Tea Book Club, and I am fairly certain I am not in its target demographic. I feel like it was written for a much younger audience, but I got a kick out of it. I liked Nina Hill. I thought it was pretty fun. And that has not been registered. This is The Black God's Drums, and I don't know how to pronounce this. P. Jelly Clark? And I read this for Strange Worlds Book Club, and it's really short. It's a novella, one of the Tor novellas that they've been putting out lately, and I really enjoyed it. It is really short. It feels a lot like the setup to something bigger, and I'd like to read more. If there's more, maybe he'll write more. And that is not registered. And this one is not registered. I think this is an extra copy. I read it a long time ago, and then I think I book crossed that copy, and now I've got another copy that somebody gave me, and so I'm going to book cross it. And I can't remember if this is the first in this series. Does it say? Charlaine Harris, who wrote the Sookie Stackhouse books, so if you're a True Blood fan, you know who she is. Anyway, it's a really interesting series. The quality varies wildly from book to book in this series. That's all I really have to say at this point, because it's been a while. I think I've got like 3 copies of this now. I do need to reread it, but I've got another copy for rereading. And in fact, I might even like find an audio copy. This is looks like a media tie-in cover. I know some people hate that. I don't really mind it, but and that particular production looks like the BBC production, and I watched it and I thought it was really, really well done. I've read it at least twice before, and I've read at least one of the versions of the play. She wrote 2 versions of the play. So yeah, anytime you go to see the play, you don't really know until the very end which version you're getting, because she wrote it, kind of true to the book, and then I guess it was coming up on World War II, and she gave the script to the producers, and they're like, no, people want a happy ending. So she rewrote it with a happy ending. I know I've read the one with the happy ending. And so every time I see the play or see a production of it, and it doesn't have the happy ending, I'm like, oh, because I kind of like the happy ending. But anyway, this is an extra copy that I've come across, and it is not registered. And again, this is Sue Grafton. S is for silence. And not registered. I think this is another extra copy that I've come across somehow. I think I've got a signed hardcover somewhere. I met Sue Grafton at a con one year, and she liked my pen name, so which at the time was my legal name. And that's why and you'll notice I have lots of names. That's why I just go by Skeleton Key here. That was the name on my email account that I used to set up this channel. And I'm like, what name should I use? It's like, because I have all sorts of names, some of which have been legal at some point in my life. And I decided, just screw it. Let's just go with Skeleton Key. So this is an extra copy, and it is not registered. This is A Shadow Bright and Burning, and a friend of mine was giving away a bunch of their books, and they were doing the whole KonMari thing, and this was one of them, and I picked it up, and because I couldn't remember if I already had a copy. Turns out I do, and yeah, we both have signed copy. You can see it's signed. And so this one is not registered, so I'll need to do that. Sorcerer to the Crown. And this is a copy, this is an extra copy that I picked up because I really, really enjoyed Sorcerer to the Crown, which I read for Strange Worlds Book Club. There was somebody else that I was like, oh, I bet they'll like this book. And so I saw this. Yeah, anytime you see a little dot like that on the cover, that means I got it at the library's used bookstore. But I saw this and I'm like, oh yeah, I can give that to so and so. I bet they'd really like it. And I picked it up, and I think I found that I already had another copy of it, so I gave them the other copy. And so now I've got another extra copy. But hey, it's good. And this has not been registered, so I need to do that. So I've got a bunch of registering to do. Of these 18 books, I have only already registered 4 of them. So it's time to finally actually get around to doing some book crossing. I've been meaning to do this for a while now. But what is book crossing? It is essentially releasing your books to continue their journeys, and you can follow them sometimes. Not as often as I'd like. I've got some that I'm going to try to release tonight. Let's start with Shutter, which is a graphic novel, Volume 1 of Wanderlost. This is some weirdness right here. Yes, it is already registered. I'm covering up the secret part of the code. Labeled it. So this one is, all I have to do is make a release entry. Apparently, I tried to release this at a book club meeting almost 3 years ago. But this is a different book club that I'm going to tonight. This is the F'd Up Book Club. And yes, we are meeting outside with social distancing and masks, and yeah. And this book is kind of effed up. So maybe it'll fly. Maybe somebody will take it tonight. But it is marked as available. And I think that's what I'm going to do with this batch, is I'm just going to register them, because the rest of these are not registered. So I'm going to register them, and then I'm going to mark them as available. So let's just kind of take you through the whole registration process. So you go up here, home, register book, because this has never been registered by anyone. If it had, then I would be clicking either release or journal entry. But we've got register book. So there are 3 steps. So source, Google book search. So let's try this. There we go. And yeah, most of the time you won't get a cover match exactly. Yeah, the edition will be different, but close enough for our purposes here. Mystery and thrillers, status. I'm going to mark it available. Rating. It's been a long time since I read it. Okay, I've put in a little bit about why I have it. A new book registered confirmation screen with its new number ready to go. So I'm going to do that with the rest of these. But wait, first I have to label it. So I'm going to fill in the BCID after, because I can't show you the whole thing. But here is the label. So you can see it's got just a little bit of information about what BookCrossing is and the website. And then it's got my name, my handle on the site, Stina Lynn, and where, Colorado, USA, and when, September 2020. And you can get more specific if you like. I tend to just go with kind of general, like that. And then I will add the BCID, and then I will put it inside the front cover like so. And you can buy fancy labels like this. This is actually one that I designed myself, so you can custom design your own, and then have the BookCrossing store, supply store, make them into labels for you, or you can print your own on your home printer, or you can just handwrite a message in. It's really flexible. The key thing is to have the website and the BCID number, so I will definitely put that in here first. A wild release would be if I just left it on a picnic table and had no idea who would come along and pick it up. So then, next. All right. So we've got release type, controlled release, location information, USA, Colorado, Fort Collins. Yep. And so now we can get a little more specific. So it was the 28th. At about 7 p.m. GMT, no. Mountain time. Then I will type in my notes. Okay, so there it is. So now we'll see if my book club friend decides to make a journal entry. And actually I went in and edited it a little bit to show that it's part of my anniversary release project. Okay, so it is time to get back to my BookCrossing anniversary project because I need to get this done before my next anniversary at the very least. Yesterday, somebody posted on a local Facebook group that she was trying to build her personal library. And she was asking if people had any books they wanted to give away. So I have offered up some of mine. And so I will be giving her at least some of these. I'm not going to do... These are both... Let's see, Lost City of Z and The Bone Witch. These are both arcs. So she's trying to build a library. I don't really want to do that. So let's set those aside. Let's see. She said that she generally reads romance, but she is trying to branch out. Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluas. I don't really know anything about this one. I have a second copy, which is why I'm releasing this one. And I have not read my copy yet. But yeah. I mean, it's a nice hardcover. And this one's a romance, so it's... I don't know how old this woman is, so I don't know if... This one, I think, was geared for a younger audience than I am. That might apply to this woman, I don't know. But even as ancient as I am, I had fun with this one, so sure. This one's a romantic suspense thing. I kind of thought it was awful, but lots of people love it, so sure. And oh, here's a good mystery. It's been so long since I read S's for Silence that I'm not sure how well it stands alone as an introduction to the series. So yeah, let's maybe not do that one. Personally, I think G is for Gumshoe is one of the best books to read if you're looking for an intro to that series. So set that one aside. And this one, I want to be careful who I give this one to or how I release it, because it is just so awful in so many ways. This one, I don't know anything about it. I don't know the author. Yeah. I'm not even sure how I got this book, to be honest with you, but, so sure. And this is another one that's just, I don't want to inflict this one on an unsuspecting person. So maybe, wow, some of these I think are probably really not good picks for this project, but I have them and I want to get rid of them. So, alright, so there's 5 that I'm going to save for another release. And so that's 4 from this project that I will be releasing to another reader. I suppose I should talk a little bit about the whole permanent collection versus traveling book thing. I mean, BookCrossing is about helping books on their journeys, and traveling books and free books, but at the same time, each book's journey is different. For each book, you're supposed to assign it a status, and one of the statuses that you can assign to it is permanent collection. And my feeling on that is that there is no such thing as permanent, because most of us, at least, are mortal. Maybe not all of us, maybe all of us, I don't know. But sometimes a book's journey is to spend some time in a so-called permanent collection for a while. I mean, entropy is a thing, and so eventually all collections will be dispersed. So it does not bother me in the least that this woman may keep these books until she dies, for all I know. That's the journey for that book. So this is the only one that actually has a BCID already assigned to it. So I will make a journal entry on this one and then add it to the release stack. The other 3 have not been assigned BCIDs yet, so I will need to do that first. I'm going to put them out on my front porch, and somebody will come and pick them up. Okay, so making all of the release notes for these books. Essentially doing a copy and paste and using the little shortcut that's shown here. But one thing that occurs to me is that, alright, passing along 18 books to another reader. And this is my 18th anniversary. So I wanted to release 18 books. And as I pointed out earlier, some of the books that I picked for this project really aren't really good ones. So you know what I'm going to do? Here's my recent book activity. So this shows, so here you can see, and if you stalk my bookshelf on BookCrossing, you can see what I'm doing. But here are the 18 books that I released yesterday. Starting with Mayhem at the Orient Express. And some of them covers didn't pop up, but that's okay. I mean, if you really want details, just go find Stina Lynn on bookcrossing.com and that's going to show you everything. But 18 was the magic number I was looking for. I did 18 books yesterday. So I'm going to call that my celebration for my anniversary, which was on July 26th of last year. And so we're back in 2022. So yeah, the last 2 years have not really gone as planned. It's been a rough 2 years. I'm sure you understand. But I am still very much a book crosser, and I would love to have more book crossers joining in the fun. And I really do look forward to the next 20 years of book crossing adventures. Let's find Ballycumber and go have some fun. And please like and subscribe, and see you around.